Hello, I'm Christopher Walker with Closely Observed English. In this video, we're going to think about the target reader. Who is the target reader in a Cambridge assessed writing task? Well, the target reader is the ideal person who will read what you write. And it's not exactly the examiner. Let's have a look at some different aspects of the target reader. So the first writing task we can think about is the essay. Essays are the compulsory writing task in part 1 of the B2 First and First for Schools, C1 Advanced and C2 Proficiency exams. But who is the target reader for an essay? Well, usually for an essay, the target reader will be your teacher. So imagine that you're at school and you've been to a session, maybe your teacher taught a lesson, and during that lesson you made notes, you were paying attention, and now it's time to write your essay. What the target reader wants is what every teacher wants. They want proof that you were paying attention. They want to know if what you write connects to that lesson. So make sure that you fill your essay with specific information that will please your teacher. Imagine your teacher reading your essay and you think to yourself, what do they want from me? The next genre of writing we can think about would be the informal letter. You get informal letters quite a lot at B2 First and First for School level, sometimes at C1 Advanced, but not very often at C2 Proficiency. So who is the target reader in an informal letter? Well, usually it's your friend. What does your friend want from you? They want what any friend wants from any other friend. Proof of friendship. So what is proof of friendship? Well, first of all, when you're writing an informal letter, use informal language. If you're writing to your friend and you start by saying, in response to your letter received 15th of November, they would start to think, oh my gosh, what have I done? You don't like me anymore. So instead you could start by saying, oh, it was so lovely to hear from you after all this time. Thanks for writing. They are proving to your friend that you like them. The next thing you need to make sure to do is to answer all of the questions that they raised in their previous letter. They're not just writing to you for fun. They might want to know about, for example, coming to visit you, what to see when they visit you, what to do. So you need to answer those questions. Imagine if you didn't. How would your friend feel if you didn't answer the questions that they asked you? They wouldn't feel too happy about the friendship. They'd start to think, well, that was a bit rude. I asked him these questions, didn't answer me. So if we've thought about the informal letter, what about a formal letter? This is a bit trickier because there are a couple of possible target readers for a formal letter. So let's think. One formal letter might be when you're writing to a company. Maybe you want something. Maybe you want to make an agreement with that company. So what would you need then? Let's think. The target reader there is somebody that you don't know, but you want something from them. You want something to happen. So here it's really important that you use the right register. This is where the formal writing comes into play. So you wouldn't say, hi, just wondering if maybe we could do a deal. No, you would start by saying something like, dear sir stroke madam, for example, if you don't know the person. I am writing to you to inquire about, and then you start talking about what you want. The other thing here is that the target reader is likely to be pretty busy. So you need to get to the point as quickly as you can. So don't dilly-dally, don't spend too long writing about you, write about them, what you want from them. So that goes for any sort of letter where you want to come to a business agreement, and it certainly works in a letter of application, believe it or not. If you're writing a job application, you need to spend as much time talking about the company as possible because the target reader knows what they want. Try to fit yourself into that idea. Another sort of formal letter that you might have to write would be a formal letter of complaint. Now here it's really important that we remember who the target reader is. Maybe the target reader is the editor of a newspaper and they printed a piece that you disagree with. Well, if you're too strong in what you say, what will they do? They'll rip it up. They'll get your letter, look at it, and they say, "Dear sir, I was disgusted by the treatment received by my friends in your newspaper, blah, blah, blah." You go, "Oh, disgusted, huh? Okay." And they throw it away. The target reader would not be impressed by that. So you have to be careful. You have to be sensitive. You can't go straight in like that. You have to kind of tiptoe around. "Dear editor, in a recent issue of your newspaper, there appeared a report of a local music contest, for example, I don't know. And during the reporting of this contest, I noticed a few inaccuracies which I would like to address, if I may, in this letter." So you consider the target reader and how they would respond to what you're telling them. So we've looked at the essay and we've looked at two different kinds of letter, informal and formal. So what else is there? Well, the next one obviously would be, let's say, a review. The reviews appear at B2 First and First for Schools and at C1 Advanced and C2 Proficiency. So what is a review, first of all? Well, a review would be, let's say, about a book that you've read. You say a bit about it and you say whether you think it was good or not. So how do you know what the target reader wants? Well, you could be the target reader. How did you choose that book? Maybe somebody gave you a recommendation. They said, "Oh, you've got to read this book, it's amazing." That might be enough. That's something you need to have in your writing then. There needs to be a clear recommendation or the target reader won't know if it's worth reading this book. But maybe the friend that recommended the book to you is really into science fiction and you're not. You would need to know what kind of book it was before you went along with the recommendation. So in your review, you need to give enough detail to help the target reader decide for themselves. If you don't like a book, give reasons why. If you didn't like it because too much time was spent on character development and not enough on action sequences, well, that's actually the kind of thing I like in a book. So if that was in the review, you're helping me. I'm your target reader, you're telling me something you don't like, I actually like it. You're giving me the information that will help me make a decision. So the target reader here then for a review is somebody who needs help making a decision. They need specific information so that it's not just all your opinion. "Oh, it's a terrible book, don't read it." Why do you think it's a terrible book? If it's a good book, why do you think it's a good book that's worth reading? People have different opinions and it's really important that you share as much detail as you can with the target reader. Another piece that's quite similar to a review is an article. We don't find articles at C1 advanced level, but sometimes at C2 and quite often at B2 First and First for Schools. So who is the target reader for an article? Well, like a review, it's somebody who wants some information. But here it's not so much about a recommendation for a book or a film. They just want information. They want to be entertained and educated. So the article might be about climate change, for example. That's quite a popular topic in the Cambridge exams. So you have to write an article that covers the content points, but you have to remember what the target reader wants. They want information and they want entertainment. So you need to give them lots of value for money. Think about the target reader for an article as somebody who could choose to read your article or read somebody else's, or watch Netflix, or listen to some music. You have to prove to your target reader that your article is worth reading. So it has to be snappy, it has to be catchy. Start with maybe a rhetorical question. Have you ever thought about the penguins? For example, get them interested and lead them in. Hold their hand and take them through on a little journey, an educational journey of some value to that target reader. If you can do that, then you'll find that your writing kind of comes to life. You satisfy the target reader and you'll write a much better piece of writing. One writing type that is unique to B2 First for Schools is the story. Stories are a little bit like articles. They need to be interesting. A boring story will not satisfy the target reader. The target reader is somebody who enjoys reading stories. So what do they want? Well, in the B2 exam, they just really want a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is actually what makes writing a story so difficult. You've only got about 180 to 200 words to write your story in, and that's really difficult. You need to start the story, establish a character or two, something has to happen to them, and then the story has to finish, it has to come to a conclusion. So, we've looked at the essays, the target reader there, we've looked at reviews, articles, formal letters, informal stories. There are still two more types for us to look at, but we can look at them together. These are reports and proposals. Now first, quick recap. A report looks at the past and talks about the past and the present situation. For example, maybe you went on a course, you did a course of education somewhere. So your report could talk about the good things and the bad things about that course and maybe make a recommendation. Proposals, however, look more to the future. They are going to include a suggestion. So perhaps your company is planning a training course somewhere else. Where should it be? What should it look like? So it's more directed to the future. But the target reader in both of these situations is pretty much the same. The target reader for a report and a proposal will be your superior, somebody above you. Maybe a college principal, maybe your manager. What do we know about these target readers? Well, first of all, because they are superior, you need to address them very formally. You need to be respectful. So formal language, longer sentences, that's good. Secondly, they need information. So you should give them some figures. Instead of saying some people liked the course, you could say, for example, in a quick survey, it was discovered that 85% of participants in the course were fully satisfied with the material. There's no mark for factual accuracy. So if you need some facts, make them up. Make them up so that you can appeal to the target reader. They love numbers, they love figures, they can use them. The next thing that we know is that the target reader is going to be really busy. Well, we can organize what we want to say clearly into paragraphs with a heading above each paragraph. How does that help the target reader? Well, they might not have time to sit down and read your report as if it was a story or a review. They might want to go straight to the recommendation. They might want to go straight to the problems on that course. And if you present your information with headings, you help the target reader find what they want quickly, and that keeps them happy. Okay, so that was a quick rundown of the different genres of writing, and for each writing type we thought about what the target reader wanted. In the comments below, Write if I've forgotten anything. I'll make a follow-up video. Pretty sure I've got it all. But also write about your own experiences of writing for the Cambridge exams. Have you found one piece easy to write, one piece difficult to write? Why? Maybe I can make another video that would help you get past that problem and be better prepared for your exam. So until next time, thanks for watching and goodbye.